Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I don't have an intro. Intros are annoying for me anyway. I failed English. No, I didn't fail English, but English was an annoying subject. Anyway, we will just start the video. First of all, I'd like to thank Many Kudos because this is indeed his video idea and I'm just borrowing it for a while because I wanted to talk about a specific topic. I guess that could be considered the intro. Anyway, let's get into the video. These are the many controversies of Ubisoft. Watch Dogs is an action-adventure video game franchise published by Ubisoft and developed primarily by Montreal and Toronto studios using the Disrupt game engine. The game had 3 entries, but we're mainly focusing on the first one because in E3 2012, do y'all remember E3 by the way? Like that was a long time ago. Now we have like showcases and directs, but I digress. But anyway, Watch Dogs was originally shown to be this beautiful bitch ass game, right? It looked something like this.
Covering our sector. We'll find this punk.
And what we got was this. It was a major disappointment for gamers everywhere, and they made it look so cool in the E3 trailer words. While not bad, well, not a bad game, it was a subpar game. It was like an IGN 7. I think it got an 8. Speaking of IGN 7s, here's a 6. The Crew. It was a 2014 online racing game co-developed by Ubisoft Ivory Tower and Ubisoft Reflections and published by Ubisoft. The Crew was a racing game in a persistent open world environment for free roaming across a scaled down recreation of the United States. But that's not a controversial words. That's not the controversial part. On December 14th, 2023, Ubisoft delisted The Crew and its expansions from digital platforms, suspended sales of microtransactions, and announced that the game's servers would be shut down on March the 31st, 2024. In early April 2024, days after the shutdown, they started revoking players' license who bought The Crew without providing any refunds or any way to download the game. This move was criticized as it set a bad precedent for game preservation and ownership in general, especially when players discovered that it had unutilized programming for offline games. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because this gave Ross Scott the fuel he needed to start the Stop Killing Games movement, which is good. A movement that would have companies leave their games in a playable state after they ended support for it. And I won't get into too much details here, but you should sign it if you're in the European Union. European. You should sign it. Europe people though, because it's in the UN type side. Anyway, this also sparked a class action lawsuit by 2 Californian men because they bought a physical copy, and they accused Ubisoft of misleading players into believing that they purchased a permanent game, but instead it was a limited license that the physical copy contained, and to unlock a key DRM. You know what Nintendo did there? Fuck Nintendo, fuck Ubisoft, fuck all these companies. How do people talk this much? Anyway, Ubisoft saw the NFT craze back in the day, and just like the greedy bad decision makers they were, they thought, I should join that. Much to the dismay of fans, introducing Ubisoft Quartz, a platform that would allow players to acquire and trade digital items. A game I never heard of, but got like a 7 on IGN, so it can't be that bad. Average at best. Champion Tactics Grimoire Chronicles, I'm not pronouncing that word right. A tactical NFT battler that required you to already own an NFC. So you guys that are still holding on to that Lana Rhodes NFT, you can finally use it for something other than jerking off. Fucking idiots. But seriously, was Ubisoft ahead of its time? No, it was just stupid. Anyone with a working brain could see that NFTs would have no value, and the amount of stories about rug pulls and shit, the writing was on the wall, but that didn't stop Ubisoft from continuing pushing with their new and upcoming blockchain game, Might and Magic Fates. And what could be worse than that? I know. The first quadruple A game, Skull and Bones. A term coined by Ubisoft CEO. I'm not gonna pronounce his name, I'm not even gonna try. Because he thinks the game, and I reiterate, he thinks this because of course he does, earns its $70 price tag. The game drew inspiration from the golden age of piracy in the Indian Ocean, offering players the choice to become a pirate engaging in naval combat and build their own pirate empire. Oh, and it was also a live service because of course it was. Wait, I've been showing Assassin's Creed. This is not the game. Despite this perceived value, the game received mixed reviews, with some finding the game repetitive, grindy, and lacking in any real depth or engaging content. And of course, it was an IGN 7. But hey guys, here's an IGN 8. Assassin's Creed Shadows. The latest entry in the Assassin's Creed universe, where you play as Yasuke, a samurai, and Noawe, a ninja. That takes place in feudal Japan too. Now, given the time that we live in, obviously, you had people crying woke. Oh, wait, Yasuke was black, Naomi was a woman. You had people crying woke, and basically deciding they won't play it, which is silly. Did I play it? No. I've been burnt by Ubisoft way too much time to actually put any trust in it. I'm not a masochist. I'm sorry. But you didn't play it because it was woke, and I didn't play it because they tried to pass this shit off as a dude's fanfic. They tried to pass a dude's fanfic as historical accuracy. We're not the same. Thomas Lockley is a British academic who is an associate professor at the College of Law of Nihon University. Fuck, I can't read, guys. I'm sorry. Thomas Lockley is a British academic who is an associate professor of the College of Law of Nihon University and the author of The African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke, and The Legendary Black Warrior in Feudal Japan. You see where I'm going with this? Yes, he is a source that Ubisoft used for their knowledge on Yasuke. And it was so funny because people were so mad that they found out that Thomas Lockley basically wrote a fanfic and cited himself as the source. So basically, like, when Ubisoft was like, oh, we sources that guy, his shit is what we use, and he was like, and when people were like, okay, but where did you get his information?
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Like, it was a whole Wikipedia battle between him and whoever ran Wikipedia, because he kept changing the articles on the thingamajig Wikipedia. And we had this information because it will happen in real time when we were there. Yeah. Anyway, it was very entertaining to watch, I swear to you. Of course, this information came to light, and Ubisoft tried to distance himself from him instead of saying it was like historically accurate, they basically switched and say, oh, it was fanfic. No, sorry. They said, I don't remember what they exactly said, but they just said it wasn't historical accurate anymore. Was the game good? I don't know. IGN gave it an 8, but like, I mean, like, they gave Dustborn a 7 and Dragon Age The Veilguard a 9, while they gave Wukong an 8. Which one of these games do you think sold better?
You serious?
And yes, guys, I am making fun of IGN, but you know who made fun of gamers? You guessed it, Ubislop. In an interview with Ubisoft Director of Subscriptions, Philip Turbley, I'm not saying that right, said, and I quote, "One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVDs, having and owning their games. That's a consumer shift that needs to happen. That's a consumer shift that he needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collections or DVD collections. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortably in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at any time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you built in game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. You see the fuckery that this man is trying to push? See, this is why people don't like this company. They want to take your money for their shitty subscription service, which is Ubisoft Plus. I don't fucking know, I don't use it, and most people don't even use by the way, because they start releasing on Steam to boost their sales. Yeah, I think the last two games was Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws, and they didn't sell well either way. And they want you to be comfortable with not owning what you bought. I don't know who this dude thinks he's talking to, but I've seen a lot of people who would rather have a physical copy over a digital one because of shit like this. Again, what happened with the Crew. And don't get me started on Nintendo, bro, because like doing this shit with the physical copy on the Switch too, and you get basically a download link, or no, not link, but you download, you don't have the physical card, you don't have a physical copy. That's bullshit. Like, what? This is why I'll never get a Switch 2. And I don't know why people buy a Switch 2. I don't know why they do it, but I don't know why. Use your brain, bro. Don't buy a Switch 2. Let the game fail. Fuck Nintendo. They might been over and I take bumbuck like, hey, go suck that mother. But anyway, let's get back to Ubisoft, right? Because this is really why I decided to make this video. Okay, now the reason why is because they literally said microtransactions makes the player experience more fun. Yes.
What? What the fuck?
You heard that right. Microtransactions, the things that gamers complain the most about, the plague of the gaming industry other than live service, in my opinion, makes a player's experience more fun. Now, you must be wondering, who would say that? Who would go full retard? And we all know
you went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Well, guys, this video is about Ubisoft. The direct statement: the adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player's experience and are sustainable in the long term. At Ubisoft, the golden rule when developing premium games is to allow players to enjoy the game in full without having to spend more. That's a fucking lie. They really enjoy when you spend more. Anyway, continuing. After monetization offerings within premium games make the player experience more fun by allowing them to personalize their avatars and progress quickly. However, this is always optional. It is, but the fact that they think that people really want to not even that, people would rather unlock those things than pay for them. Well, personally, I would, because it's a sense of achievement. In the progressing faster, like, bro, get the fuck out. They're trying to turn the premium games, by the way, air quotes, they're trying to turn those into fucking mobile games because they just want more money, and this is why they're fucking failing. And I am so happy to see the downfall of Ubisoft. Fuck Ubisoft. Anyway, I don't know what they said. This isn't the premium game, that's a fucking mobile game. They're trying to bring mobile. That's why, like, I don't even think they're premium. They make flop. Indie games make better game than Ubisoft. And you know what? They don't have these shitty microtransactions. Ubisoft is just a slop company now. They churn out crap and hope that people buy it based on nostalgia, because I don't think anybody buys their games based on the name anymore, their Ubisoft name. At least I hope. Don't go full retard, guys. Don't.
You don't buy that? That's Sean Penn, 2001, I am Sam. Remember? Went full retard. Went home empty-handed.
But anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope I did many kudos the video idea justice. Did I don't know. Hopefully I do. If you like the content, I do random things whenever I feel like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another rant about something I feel strongly about. Bye.